Remember family holidays when you were 11? Not a care in the world, right? Wrong. For me, it was when I first realised that I was fat. Of course I wasn't, but I thought I was. And that's where it all began. Without even really knowing it, I started to eat less. Attention-seeking, some might say. But how could that be if I didn't know I was doing it? 6 months later, I was in hospital, with only 48 hours left to live if I didn't improve. And at 5'7" and only 4.5 stone, that's not really that surprising. I was in an uncontrollable spiral, a vicious cycle that I couldn't get out of. I suffered from anxiety, particularly about dying, but I also couldn't bring myself to eat. I would cry myself to sleep at night through fear of death and make the decision to start my recovery the next day. But when morning came, I couldn't do it. I could show you photos of me at my thinnest, but I won't. I don't want to contribute to the idea the media has that you have to be visibly skinny to be unwell. My sickest days were actually once I was eating again. That's when my mental health plummeted to its darkest place. I was being forced to eat. It felt inhumane. I spent the next year and a half of my life as an inpatient. I was in year 7, and being in a ward full of patients with mental health issues was terrifying. Before long, I was sectioned. I remember the moment well, and looking back, I would have sectioned me as well. While they were delivering me the news, I was jumping up and down on the spot. I was afraid to stand still. I wanted to burn as many calories as I could, and so I was always exercising in some way. When I look back now, it feels like I'm talking about someone else, a different person entirely. I was discharged from hospital after they decided they could do no more for me, but it didn't last that long. At the age of 14, I was admitted to the Priory. This was my first experience of being on an adult ward, and it was horrible. I was tube fed, and I was hundreds of miles from home. I felt very low. Once I was discharged, I was allowed out briefly, before I was once again admitted to a hospital in Birmingham. And I was sectioned. Again. I met many people in hospital who told me all about their lifetime of health problems as a consequence of their anorexia. They had been fighting against eating disorders their entire lives. I didn't want to be like this. I knew I wanted to live. Once I was well enough for home leave, I met up with a friend who had just passed a driving test and was working at McDonald's. Something clicked. I wanted to be a normal 17-year-old. For years, I couldn't even walk past a McDonald's without holding my nose for fear I would gain weight. But something had changed in me, and I applied for a job there. That was a really positive step for me. Whilst working in McDonald's, I met my partner. Things were still far from easy, but gradually I started to get better. In 2010, I fell pregnant. Previously, I'd been told that I was infertile due to my anorexia, so I was amazed and delighted, but also terrified. For the first time since I was 11, I started eating properly. I had a new incentive in life, and I was going to make sure that my baby was healthy. I now have 2 children, and they're my inspiration to never get ill. I won't let it take hold of me again. If I could have one wish, it would be to say that I'm recovered. But I know I will never be fully recovered. It will always be with me. Eating disorders aren't lifestyle choices, a diet taken too far, or attention seeking. How ill someone is shouldn't be determined by how low their BMI is. Eating disorders are serious mental health disorders that take the lives of many people every year, yet they are still so misunderstood by the majority of people. Anorexia destroyed mine and my family's lives for many years. I didn't think I would ever get better. But now, I've been in recovery for 6 years. I have 2 beautiful children and I'm training to be a midwife. Never give up. Recovery is possible.